Hi everyone, my name's Katie, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing my next favourites video of 2018. This video I'm going to be talking about bronzers and highlighters. So we'll start with bronzers. Now, I love me a good bronzer. I'm a pasty faced woman, so a little bit of warmth is something that I need. What I look for in a bronzer is for it, first of all, not to be too pigmented. I like it when I can kind of build it, or something that's going to blend out easily and it's not just going to look like a stripe of orange or a stripe of brown or something like that on my face. The buildable, the better really. Obviously I want something that's going to be suited for my skin tone, which obviously is very fair. So basically the lighter the bronzer the better really. I don't really have a preference when it comes to matte or like shimmery bronzers. I like both, although all of the bronzers that I've actually picked out as favourites this year do happen to be matte ones. I didn't do that on purpose, it just happened. And there are definitely some things that I've not mentioned today that I've really liked. So yeah, I'm not actually mentioning any shimmery bronzers, which is weird because I do like shimmery bronzers. And there are a few that I have used that I liked, but I didn't want to put them in favourites because I just like these ones a bit more. I'll start with the one that I've just picked up. So this one's just in one of those customizable palettes. So this is a pan. This is from Makeup Geek, and this is, what is it? Oh, come out. This is the, I think they're just called contour pans. This one is the shade Love Triangle Warm Porcelain. Now, I think these are obviously meant more as contour products, but for me this is like a great bronzer. I feel like it's a little bit too warm for like a contour shade, but I don't really contour. I've just sort of kind of given up on it. Like occasionally, if I'm doing like a proper full glam look, but really I'm just more about the bronze life these days. This is what the shade looks like. It's a very pale bronzer shade, definitely more on the warm side, which I mean I do want a warm bronzer. I like cool tone things more so for like contouring, which I don't even do anymore. Very good formula, exactly what I want. Buildable, not too pigmented, a nice shade that doesn't look orange or red or any colour that I don't want on my face. Lovely. The only thing is I just feel like I keep forgetting about this because it's in this palette. Like I feel like if it was just kind of in its own like packaging like one of the other ones I've got, I would definitely reach for this way more, because I think like it's probably one of the best out of the ones I've picked in terms of formula. I just don't really reach for this palette much, but it's such a good bronzer, even though it's a contour, but it's a bronzer, okay? Just trust me. Okay, so let's go on to what's in my little box here. First one I'll mention is from CYO. This is the CYO bronzing powder, When the Sun Don't Shine, in fair, and I think they've got about 3 different shades of this bronzer, but mine's obviously the lightest one. This is a matte powder. Works pretty good for my pale skin, not too pigmented, buildable, blends out nicely. I'm going to say this about all of the bronzers because that's just what I look for. Obviously CYO is super affordable as well. Another affordable one, this is from Belle Hypoallergenic. I've kind of been in love with this bronzer since I've got it. It's probably one of my most reached for ones since I bought it. This is just called the Bronze Powder in the shade 02. Amazing colour for my pale skin. Buildable, blendable, just what I want, super cheap. All of these are actually a drugstore. I've got one high-end one, but I mean I got it in a cohorted beauty box, so I didn't really pay a high-end price for it. Another drugstore one, so this is from Makeup Obsession. This is their large bronzer BZ101 Natural, which is the lightest shade. I think they have a couple of darker ones, but this is a very good shade, very pale bronzer. If you're pale, definitely would recommend this colour. I'm losing my voice. I'm not good at talking for long periods of time, especially when I've already got like a sort of cold anyway. Yes, would recommend this if you're fair. Again, like the others, buildable, blendable, perfect. Just gives me that nice bit of definition and warmth I want. So I mentioned the high-end one that I've picked up. So I did get this in a cohorted beauty box. This is from Laura Geller. This is the Beach Matte Baked Hydrating Bronzer in Siesta Medium. And I think this might be a bit difficult to get hold of in the UK. It is still on their US website, but I found it a bit hard to kind of track this down to buy in the UK. I think it was on like Look Fantastic or something, but it was only in like the dark shade. Obviously there is even like an even lighter shade than this, which would probably work even better for me. I still find that this shade works really well for me. It's great. I mean, do I necessarily think it's better than the cheaper ones? Not really. but it's still great. I mean, I've picked it up a lot since I got it in that beauty box. This one I tried right at the beginning of the year. This is from Revolution. This is the Renaissance Glow Bronzer and Highlighter palette. What I find odd about this is that the bronzer is such a good shade for like pale skin, but I don't really feel like the highlighter is very suited for pale skin. Like, it's a bit kind of bronzy in tone. I don't really use the highlighter in this, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, I probably could get away with that colour actually. Should I just pop a bit on my nose? I still feel like that's a little bit dark on my skin colour. It's weird because I don't really know who this is actually made for, because bronzer is definitely like a pale skin lifesaver. But this kind of feels like it's meant for more a medium skin tone, so. But the bronzer is like amazing. Like, fantastic colour, fantastic formula. And the last bronzer that I mentioned is technically a setting powder. This is from L'Oreal Paris. This is the True Match Super Blendable Powder. This is obviously meant as a face setting powder, but it does not look like there's a shade light enough for me. It's a shade Golden Beige. So obviously this is meant as a setting powder for someone with this sort of skin tone, but on me this works really well as a bronzer. It's just like, this is probably the best in terms of buildability. You can just like really like customize the level of bronziness you want with this one really well. And it's just like a beautiful kind of warm golden sun-kissed vibe you get going on. But yeah, super buildable, super blendable. I definitely like recommend that people try out kind of pressed setting powders but in darker shades than their skin tone for bronzers. Let's all try that some more, I think. There are definitely some other ones that are not on this list that I still liked from this year, but I can't talk about everything, can I? Yeah, I was going to talk about blush, but then I realised that there really isn't a lot of blush that I've tried that I've liked this year, so I think I'm just going to leave out blush. So we'll move on to some highlighter products now. So I first want to talk about a few kind of like more, I say natural, they're not really natural, like they're definitely pigmented, you can definitely see them on the face, but I feel like these ones are a bit more wearable and a bit more, they mesh into the skin a lot more naturally. They just look a bit more like kind of your actual skin as opposed to like a stripe of colour on the face. So I'll just talk about some that I feel fall more into that category first. So first of all, the Milani Afterglow Strober Light highlighter in 01. I think the shade is Afterglow. So that's what it looks like there. I mean, as you can see, it's like a pretty like natural sort of colour. It's not like any of this crazy holographic stuff. It is beautiful. It's just, again, it's like a second skin sort of product. It's just really like, it's so pigmented, but like it doesn't look like so intense, if that makes sense. Works really good for my skin tone, but they've also got loads of different colours, so I think everyone should be able to find something. Again, it's just super ethereal, but you know, it just doesn't look too much either, which I really like about this. Something else that I feel falls into that category, another Belle hypoallergenic product. This is definitely a brand that I found a lot of gems from. So this is their Face and Body Illuminating Powder in 01. This is really pigmented, but again, it's just like a second skin highlighter. It's just really kind of, it's natural, but it's glowy at the same time. It's beautiful. This shade it's a really quite strange shade. It's sort of kind of like a beigey, goldy kind of undertone to it, but it's definitely a very like pale skin friendly shade. I'm not necessarily sure if I feel like a medium skin tone could get away with this without it looking too much, but I definitely don't think a darker skin tone would be able to get away with this colour. Beautiful, incredibly inexpensive as well. You can get it off of Amazon. Absolutely stunning, love it. This one is definitely a very natural kind of subdued highlighter. I tried this in December, so this is a recent find for me. And I didn't even mean to purchase this. I wanted to buy 2 for my sister and my mum for Christmas, but I accidentally brought 4, so I was forced to try it. So this is the Revolution Pro Skin Finish powder in Luminescence, and they have got quite a few different shades of this, so again, there should be something for all skin tones. But this one's a bit more pinky, but obviously it's pretty pale as well. I think they're meant to be dupes for the MAC Skin Finish highlighters. But again, it's such a like subdued, natural highlighter. I think I've actually got this one on today, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's really nice. I feel like I used to be more into like these kind of blinding ones, and there are a few blinding ones that I'm going to mention in a bit, but I just feel like lately I've been kind of gravitating more towards these sort of natural, subdued, glowy products instead. I just feel like they look a little bit more flattering on the skin. And again, this is just another one that I would super recommend if that's more what you're into, if you're kind of a bit over the whole blinding thing and you just want something that's like, it's going to give you a nice bit of glow and it's going to have some pigment, but it's just not going to be too much. Definitely would recommend these Revolution Pro ones for that. They are definitely the epitome of that. So this one I feel like it's kind of on the cusp between the two. It's sort of natural, it's sort of blinding as well. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. In it, the shade Blossom Glow. I think there's only like 2 shades of this. This one's obviously the paler one, and it's quite pink toned. This is stunning, I love it. It is a little bit more blinding than the ones I've just mentioned, but it's just, it's so gorgeous. Like, it's just, I put this on and it's just like, I feel like a glowy goddess. It's just gorgeous. So damn cheap. I think it's about like £4 or something. The day Wet n Wild came to Beauty Bay, it was a good day. Works great for my skin tone. It's blinding. I don't feel like it's quite as intense as the other 3 that I'm about to mention, but I kind of like that, if I'm honest. So I've got 3 products to mention that are kind of more in that sort of holographic, kind of blinding, icy, let the gods bow down on my glow kind of highlighters that I was really into. I still like them, I am still into them definitely, but I just feel like, as I've said, I'm starting to gravitate more towards the kind of subdued sort of look. But I'm going to mention these anyway because I still think they're top notch. First of all, the Revolution Pro Supreme Highlighter in Ice. This is a trio here, so you've got a bluey one, a goldy one, and then a pinky one. And again, these are super blinding. They're incredibly pigmented. And they've got quite like a nice velvety feel to them, which I know a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a Revolution, it's not going to have a nice texture. But these actually have got a really nice texture and they're just so pigmented. I feel like my finger swatches are really like unhelpful, but I'm just doing them anyway. I feel like the kind of goldy champagne one is a bit more kind of wearable than the other 2. The other 2 are a bit more like kind of icy and holographic. The goldy one's a bit more kind of, I feel like maybe I feel like other skin tones would perhaps be able to use those more, although they do have other shades of this palette in like deeper colours. These are just blinding. They're blinding. They're blinding. They're fabulous and super damn cheap as well. So I've only actually got one high-end product to talk about, and I got this for Christmas last year. I count that as this year because it's literally like 5 days before the year's ended, and realistically you're using it the next year, aren't you? So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, and these are like 40 quid, which is like ridiculous, you know, but they are beautiful. Like, they are stunning. As you can see, I did hit pound on this one down here. Beautiful formula. The colours are stunning. I mean, yeah, they are icy, they're holographic, they're not going to be to everyone's taste. I like icy holographic, but as I've said, starting to lean more towards the kind of natural ones, but I still like this. There's still occasions where I definitely want to put this on my face for sure. They're nice. I mean, I think they're expensive for what they are. I mean, I feel like it's the sort of thing you'd want as like a present. It's not necessarily the sort of thing that you would like actively seek out to buy. I just feel like it's so much money, like 40 quid, that's a lot for a makeup product. I feel like this is sort of a dupe for the Anastasia one. I did put it in my dupes video for it. This is the BH Cosmetics Blacklight Highlight Palette, 6-colour palette, which I've been raving about ever since I got it, which was pretty early in the year. I think it was February or March. This is what it looks like here. This is stunning. First of all, it's massive. You get like a lot. The only one I've sort of hit pan on is this one here, but only a little bit. These are like so pigmented. I actually feel like they're a tiny bit more pigmented than the Anastasia ones, only slightly, but they are just so pigmented. If you are just looking for some damn pigmented highlighters that don't cost too much, I think this palette's about like £12, which compared to the ABH one is pretty damn cheap. Stunning, blinding. I feel like they're a tiny bit chalky, but like, who cares? It's pigmented, it's glowy. It doesn't look chalky on your face or anything like that, so that doesn't bother me. I mean, yeah, I've been raving about this since I tried it. Definitely underrated. I don't feel like I've seen anyone on YouTube talk about this, and it's like one of the most pigmented highlighters I've ever come across. So yeah, if that's what you're into, go for it. So I tried to kind of, you know, do kind of 2 ends of the spectrum there, more kind of subdued ones, more kind of blinding ones, because realistically I like both. I like to alternate. So I was going to do some like rejects as well, so let me just think about that for a second. So highlighter rejects, what did I really not like? Okay, first of all, I don't have this on me because I threw it away in my declutter because it was just not good. The Bourjois highlighter, now this has some good reviews on Superdrug I think, but I tried this and it just did nothing. Like it was just like, there was no point to that product. It was so subtle, it was just so subtle, and it was, don't buy the Bourjois highlighter. No, it's like the little one. It's like the same sort of packaging as their eyeshadows on their blushes, but no. This one here, the MUA Prism Loose highlighter, it looks really pretty, but it's just kind of patchy and it doesn't last very long. Also the MUA, oh what are they? I forgot what they're called. I think they're also in the Prism range. They're like little circular pans and they have like an overspray on them, and the overspray is really pretty, but then like you literally get one use out of them and then it's literally like nothing. There's no highlighter. Those I would recommend staying clear from those ones. I'll pop a picture up on the screen at some point if I can find out what they're called. Bronzer rejects. Do I have bronzer rejects? So I'm mentioning these purely based on colour, really. The formulas aren't really bad. First of all, this Constance Carrots powder, which I can't even judge this on this because it was meant as a setting powder, not a bronzer. But the shade is Bronze Glow. Maybe it was meant as a... Actually, it's not called Bronze Glow. According to this, it's called Bronze Glow. My apologies, it's actually called Bronze Glow. This is just like too pale as a bronzer. Even for me, the palest of the pale. Too damn pale as a bronzer, I'm afraid. These ones kind of the opposite. They're just the wrong sort of undertones, a bit dark. The B matte bronzer, which has an amazing formula. Can't fault the formula. If you can find the shade that works for you, great. But this is just so damn like reddish dark on me. It's not a good colour. And the BH Cosmetics Brilliance bronzer, which I've tried a lot of good products from BH Cosmetics, so this one was a bit disappointing. It's just, again, it's just a bit too orangey. Just too orangey on me, I'm afraid. Shame. That's all I gotta say in terms of cheap products for 2018. Definitely found some good ones. Definitely found some amazing highlighters, I think. And some great essential bronzers, so fantastic. So I'm just going to briefly talk you through some of the bronzers and highlighters that I plan on buying this year, because as I mentioned in my last video, I keep track of this. I plan out when I'm going to buy certain things. So for bronzer, I want to try the Honey Bronze bronzing powder from the Body Shop, which I've heard is really good for pale skin and a light shade. I'm going to try that one in my next month's first impressions. The number 7 Match Made bronzer I want to try. The Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, the one in the pale shade, which I've heard is great for pale skin. I want to try that. The MUA Bronze Perfection Matte Sunset Tan bronzer. The Maybelline have just come out with a new bronzer. It's literally called the Bronze Bronzer in the shade Medium Warm. I'm going to try that one. And also Revolution's got like a bronzer palette, the shade Cool, which I want to try. Highlighters, I want to try the Revlon Photo Ready Highlighting Palette, Galaxy Dream. I want to try out the NYX Born to Glow Single Highlighter in the light shade Stand Your Ground. I want to try the Too Faced Diamond Highlighter, the L'Oreal Holographic Glow Kit, and from Pop Beauty, which is a brand that recently appeared on Superdrug, their Prismatic Illuminating Powder and Light. Those are just some ones that I plan on purchasing throughout the year. Any recommendations? Always appreciated. So that's all I gotta say in cheap products this year. Next we will be talking about brows. I think so anyway. So see you then. Goodbye.